Well, the sun is out here at the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park. It's round 4 of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series here in South Australia. And the TA2 Muscle Cars are down there on the grid, getting ready for what is race number 5 this weekend as we put our A drivers back in the seats, and we're going to battle out all again this afternoon with a big 25 endurance race coming your way later on this afternoon. Jamie, great to have you here. What's the anticipation like?
Wow. Already gone off this weekend with the racing that we've seen and a bit of controversy in the first of the Enduros last night. And more about that down on pit lane with our team, Jared and Mel.
It has been an absolutely astonishing turn of events in that final race for TA2 Muscle Cars. We saw some 5 cars getting caught up around turn 3 on lap 1 of what was supposed to be a very long race, getting shortened down to 9 laps. That hasn't been all the action, though. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this weekend's event.
Well, let's have a look. All thanks to Hi-Tec Oils. And this was obviously our race yesterday, endurance race. It was meant to be 20 laps. And look at Jordan Cox on the left-hand side. Pushed onto the grass, but it didn't stop them. They went almost 6 wide coming into turn number 1. And there was plenty going on. Zach Bates overshot the corner out on the grass to kick things off.
And that wasn't the end of it, because right about now, it all went wrong for so many cars. And there is more to go on about that through the rest of today, because we're still sitting on some provisional results for that one. But so much car damage, it was not funny. Went to the restart, the pit window changed in and out, less laps. Haynes led away off the restart, and it was all on.
Yeah, Jordan Cox, look at the intensity in the number 4 Crusher Developments vehicle. He was really pushing hard at the start before we saw Todd Hazelwood make his way into the pack as well, worked his way back through. But in the background there, we just saw Tommy Heyman, who was started at the back of this race,
he was
position number 22.
He was absolutely blazing. Started from the back after a DNF in his first race and went 22nd to second. This is the crucial part right at the end. For a moment, Josh Thomas had the race lead out of the pits and then ran off at turn 1, handing the lead back to Haynes and allowing Heyman into the second position. Heyman chased down Haynes to the end. It was a stunning last couple of laps. The 3 car was parked up on the outside on the run home, but Haynes provisionally taking the victory for race number 3.
Well, we're going to wait and see how that all unfolds later. Today, though, we had a race this morning, and this is where it all ended. Our B drivers, or our co-drivers in the car for this one, Jared Hughes, you can see him on the left-hand side. Tim Brook on the outside in a very damaged and wounded number 22, but it's managed to make it back out on the racetrack. Now, Tim Brook did fantastic on the start, went around the outside, saw Todd Hazelwood in the 169, wasn't going to muck around on this, was he? He really wanted to push forward in that car, and he did really well. Under brakes here, where there was a big moment with a lock-up as he went down the gears. We're still unsure whether this was a bit of a redress there, because he opened the door up for Jared Hughes to take that position back.
I think it was. I think there was potentially enough contact there. Now, Jason Pride went around as the 54 of Nile went off track as well. There was a drama for the 54 because he ended up on pit lane with an issue. So Tim Brook was a little bit susceptible. Initially, Hazelwood went down the inside for a pass. Jared Hughes came to play as well.
He wasn't mucking around, Jared Hughes. He needed to follow him through. And then in the background, we saw Elliot Barber as well in the 63. He was really impressive throughout this race. And I suppose he was just keeping his calm about it and keeping that car very stable. But Jared Hughes, well, for a moment there, we didn't know what had happened. Todd Hazelwood, a little bit of smoke coming out the front of the car, and he just seemed to lack a little bit of pace after that. So carrying a mechanical issue at the end of that race really hurt his lap times. Jared Hughes really pounced on that, took the lead and got himself a win.
Second win for the weekend for Jared Hughes, paired with Tyler Cheney for the weekend. Mechanical issues for Todd Hazelwood. Yeah, there is so much going on.
I tell you what, there is we can't wait for the race to unfold, this one as well as we go into the afternoon. Plenty more categories coming your way. Let's check out, though, what the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park lap looks like on the international circuit. 4.95 kilometres to get around, 18 corners. Let's see how it goes.
How you going, guys? Josh Haynes here, driver of the number 37 TA2 Herzog Steel Mustang. We're here at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, and I'm going to take you for a lap. Coming down the straight here, grab 4th gear, lay it on the brakes as low as you can, down the gears into 2nd gear, get it turned in, don't sacrifice too much turn here, get ready for turn 2, down into 1st here for turn 3, try and focus on getting a nice exit. Grab second, look out for this car on the left. Grab third, this is a fast sweeper through here. Run it right out to the wide. Nice under brakes, pull it up here for this tight corner. It's pretty tricky because it's off camber. Down to first gear, try again, get a nice exit. Up through the gears. This third gear change is pretty tricky. Through the sweeper here. Nice big slide. Watch out for this exit curb here. Bring it back to the right, get ready for this next section of corners. Nice big slide here, probably not too quick. Up through the gears again, grab third. This one's pretty cool because it's a pretty nice cambered corner. Blind exit, so really tricky to get your exit right. Pull this up nicely, don't sacrifice too much of your corner entry. Come down here, again look out for this bit of traffic. Up to third, nice exit. Come down to the second last corner here. Down through the gears, get it pulled up, really tricky one, so easy to overshoot. Up to second, and then really focus on getting a nice exit onto the main straight. Thanks so much for taking a lap around Shell V-Power Motorsport Park in the Herzog Steel Mustang. Have a good weekend.
Well, he's one of the quickest drivers around here, Josh Haynes. I think only superseded by Tom Heyman, who has been super fast with the quick time. Let's head down to some people we caught up with earlier this weekend.
Yeah, so the start of the year for us, brand new car, thanks to George Gambino from Hi-Tec Oils. Looking forward to the Enduro, but no, it's been a good season so far, so I can't wait to have Tim Brook in the car and hopefully go well here at the home round.
Yeah, obviously things went really well for us up there in Darwin with Dill, but just all kind of worked in our favour. We kept out of trouble, kept our nose clean all weekend, and ideally, I guess, we're working on doing that with Brad this weekend. You know, trying to be smart, play our cards where we need to, and sort of take it not necessarily safe or easy, but just pick our battles. You know, pick our battles and try and be there the whole way through all 6 races, and the rest will take care of itself.
So this weekend I've obviously put down the clipboard and grabbed the helmet, which is a nice change of pace. So TFH gave me a call and asked me if I could come and drive with Des Collier in the 63 Mustang. So yeah, it's as I said, nice change of pace and probably a bit more relaxing weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, it's great to be back here. Obviously a tail and bend, a magic event and a Enduro event as well. So team out my good friend Josh Thomas and the TFH Rocket. We're obviously trying to keep the car clean, be consistent all weekend, and obviously try and hand over the keys to Josh in a nice handy position so we can have a good weekend.
Yeah, no, the Bend's a wicked track. Honestly, probably one of the best motorsport complexes in Australia, hands down. I think it's my 3rd time here, and yeah, TA2, yeah, it's a good event, putting on a 2-driver Enduro. It's actually my first co-driver event, so obviously I'm pretty lucky to have Toddy hopefully carry the team, and hopefully vice versa I can leave him in a decent enough position to hopefully bring home the biscuits. But no, Toddy's good, and hopefully we have a good weekend and the after party will be even better.
Well, welcome back to the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series round number 4. We are into race number 5 of the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Cars, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing, with our A-driver combinations from our Enduro pairs coming out in this race. There are a couple of these drivers who have chosen not to have an endurance partner, so they'll be doing the endurance this afternoon on their own. But so that means they'll be out in this race and taking on a packed field of fantastic drivers, including Tom Heyman down the back doing the 30, who unfortunately in his race yesterday did not complete it due to some mechanical issues to the car. So he has to start off the rear of the grid, which he did in the endurance yesterday.
He's already done it
and
once.
Provisionally second. So we'll wait to see how that unfolds, but potentially he could go through the field again. This is how the grid's going to start off for the driver 1, race number 5. It's Josh Haynes in the Herzog Steel Mustang to lead him out over Brett Gardner alongside. And it's Graham Cheney and Mark Crutcher, John Hollinger and Michael Coulter on the 3rd row, Des Collier and Tyler Cheney in the 4th row, Domain Ramsey and Hayden Jackson will be after that in the 5th row. Then it's Brent Nile from Western Australia with Anthony Tenkate alongside. Danny Reedy and Paul Hadley on the 7th row. Steve Wilson and Greg Keane will start towards the back. And then Josh Thomas and Tom Heyman. Well, they're 2 very fast cars. Now let's have a talk about Josh Thomas. He's another one starting at the rear of the grid, but because he got a pit lane penalty in the race yesterday.
Yes, drive-through penalty right at the end of race number 3. 3, which dropped him back down the order. And that was with the contact with Hayden Jackson at turn number 6 relatively early on in the race.
Now, yesterday we saw them bumping in the Endurance, didn't we? They were bumper to bumper, and they've been told to settle that down today. So let's see if they listen to all of our stewards and whether that happens, because we're about to get underway. Race number 5. They've also been told to stay in their boxes and not pull out into fresh air until the green light is gone. The anticipation is building.
The drivers' briefing this morning was very, very energetic, and we're about to get energetic here at the Bend with the race start for race number 5. Lights are out. Let's go racing.
Have a look at Tyler Cheney move to the right-hand side of our screen. He's looking down the wall. Michael Coulter's his way. Have a look there. Mark Crutcher doing a fantastic job in the number 4. That car's racing with Jordan Cox in there with him this weekend. Now we're on board with Tommy Heyman, who's come from the rear of the field. He's already made up about 4 positions. Look at Brad Gardner, though. Has something happened to Josh Haynes that start? Because Brad Gardner looks like a clear lead.
Just didn't get a good start. Cheney actually slipped down the inside of him, off the curb into 1. And Haynes might be back and forth. Watch Heyman. He is going to be absolutely charging from the rear of the field again, like we saw in race number 3, 22 to 2nd. But this is a slightly different race where he's up against just the single drivers and trying to get those points back. Haynes runs wide. Haynes runs wide at 6 and loses further positions. That is crucial.
Maybe he's trying to conserve some tyres for the race later today, because that's where it's all going to unfold to in this race, is tyre strategy. They've only got so many tyres per driver for the weekend, and whether they're going to conserve them for their sprint races of 10 laps or whether they're going to keep them for the 25 lap of this afternoon.
My understanding was that Josh had 4 fresh tyres going into the last 2 races today, so this is the important race points-wise for him for the championship. So I'm going to say he's on arguably the best tyre set he's got available to him right now. Whether it's 2 brand new tyres or 4, not 100% sure. On board with Heyman to the inside of Keeman, the 13.
That might take him up into 12th position now already, with Domain Rams looking like he's just in front. Wow. Just a little bit of dirt in the back there, and that looks like that's going to be Danny Reedy, former Speedway legend, and moved over into doing some of the TA2. I think the cars move around nearly as much as a sprint car do. It's on bitumen.
He's got some travelling to do. He's based up in the Northern Territory. All right, so Gardner with a massive lead early. Okay, so Haynes is salvaged back to 3rd. Out of all of that, Cheney sort of got down the inside of a 1, but then he looked like he ran wider. I thought he'd lost further positions.
Wow.
Oh, Hayden Jackson out in the weeds.
Can't afford to be doing that.
Did he gather it back up? Yes, he did. He goes through shot there, chased by Michael Coulter, another car that was in the wars for race number 3. So many of these race cars were torn up, and so many spare parts have had to come out of the TA2 transporter. Back on board with Heyman.
Well, he's gone past 10K as well, so I do believe he's gone into 10th position already, so he's halfway through the field, and we're only starting lap number 2. And Josh Thomas is going to follow him in the 169. It would be very smart to stay behind Heyman. I wouldn't want to get in his way, because we know the pace that he had yesterday. You can follow him. Hayden Jackson, well, he went a bit wide, lost a bit of momentum there. Michael Coulter with a wiggle, though. They've already had to replace the front end on the Terps Tippers Mustang this weekend. Got caught up in that incident yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't finish that endurance race. They've worked well into the night to repair it as well. So let's hope he can hold that. Tyler Cheney, for me, on the left-hand side of the screen, doing a fantastic job teamed up with Garrett Hughes. That is super fast for the young gun who hasn't driven big race cars like this before.
He started out of grid position 8. That's where he finished in his first sprint race of the weekend. Here is Hayden Jackson. Well, he sort of almost half followed Des Collier, but he ran a lot wider. Des was actually quite wide off there too, so that was almost, oh, there's the line. No, it's not.
Turn left to go right is what they say.
So Tyler Cheney's been doing an outstanding job. Finished 8th in his first race. Now, that pairing with him and Jared Hughes are currently leading the points overall on 212. Obviously, with the completion of this race, taking us into the final endurance race, that will settle things a little bit more in the points. But of the drivers that have competed pretty much every race with the co-drivers, Jared Hughes ahead of the 63 combination of Elliot Barber and Des Collier on screen in the number 63 TFH Mustang.
So when we talk about the $20,000 prize money, it's above the cumulative points from all 6 races this weekend. Jared Hughes and Tyler Cheney leading that coming into this race, and he's doing a fantastic job behind Crutcher, who's really been impressive this weekend, and he's just getting better and better with Jordan Cox helping engineer the car as well. Heyman in the background, already up to Hayden Jackson, so that's 9th position now.
Haynes down the inside of Gardner. There's a change for the... Oh, there was a little lock up from Haynes, and Gardner's going to slip back up the inside. Josh just struggled to get it stopped and get it turned through the centre, and it allowed Gardner to pull back up alongside. This is championships contending stuff. Well, wasn't a lot of love lost after race number 3 between these two, and they had a little bit of a war of words at QR as well, remember, and they're actually best mates.
Brad Gardner slid that car. He's going to have a dive down the inside of 6. Can he pull the car up? Looks like he does. We've seen so many incidents throughout racing right there. It's a tricky spot on the track. Gardner now in the Hi-Tec Oils 22 back in the lead of this race, but Haynes, look at the lap time, 1:56.1. He's a second faster than any other car out there at the moment.
He's only 100th off Heyman's track record set here in race number 3. So Gardner's looking racy right now. Tim Brook in the previous race went backwards through the field a little bit, whether that was, we heard that they'd had an issue with the left rear tyre. It might have been a deflating tyre, we just don't know, but he's certainly backed up through the field, but the car absolutely categorically is wounded. It is carrying some issues from that contact and that massive crash in race number 3 here yesterday. On board, looking out the rear window, Haynes down the inside, back into the lead. That was a nice, cleaner pass that we saw from the earlier effort.
I think Brad Gardner with some really pent-up frustration from the weekend, really showing in his aggression in this race already to take that position back for a moment. But can he maintain the pace? At the man of steel, Josh Haynes has got out in the lead, and looks like Crutcher still holding out that 3rd position over Tyler Cheney as well. Look at the tyres. They protest so much as they turn into that final corner, and they really shift the weight of the car over to the left-hand side. As we head down the straight, let's have a look in the background. Tyler Cheney looks like he's getting it done.
Happy Father's Day.
Look out behind as well, because who is that?
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Yeah.
He's 2 spots behind the boy.
He's trying to open it up.
Crutcher's coming back at Tyler. Crutcher back down the inside. That was deep. Can he get it stopped? There was a little brake lock up with the right front. Tyler Cheney pulls up along and gets the spot back. How old is Tyler?
Dad would have to be super impressive, because he's watching this happen right in front of him. I mean, Crutcher,
emotion.
How good was that under braking? But you know it's going to advantage the crisscross there as you come down the inside into 3.
How old's Tyler?
17, I believe. Apprentice plumber. Still hasn't got a trade under him.
Graham Cheney down the inside.
6, can he pull it up?
Oh,
slide!
He got the slide going and locked up the rear.
That was good. That was good. Look at Heyman in the background. He's not too far behind. He's 7th position.
Heyman up to 7th. Now, we've talked about slide jobs through the weekend. Graham Cheney's just pulled off a massive one in turn number 6 in the PhD Camaro.
It's definitely that dirt bike racing has helped Cheney out there, because he slid that in. Oh, I tell you what, Haynes now with the lead there, and it's broken out to over half of a second, but this is where the battle's really unfolding, and what's Dad going to do to Son? That's the question. Graham Cheney now up behind Tyler Cheney. They're going to battle it out for 3rd position. Mark Crutcher going back to 5th. In the meantime, look at that little fluorescent car in the background with the Heyman sticker on the front. He's the quick time man from the weekend. Took out the Kubota Pole Award, and he is charging through the field from all the way at the back. He's already up into 6th position.
Here comes Tommy.
We're going to have a short break and be back soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay on the edge of your seats. Welcome back to the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series for round number 4. We are into race number 5 of the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Cars, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing. Josh Haynes here, knowing that Brad Gardner's got a wounded vehicle, might just be driving to what Brad's doing at the moment, because the gap's down to 1.5 seconds, but he's not stopped driving away from him. So I wonder whether he's just taken a bit of the pressure off to try and conserve some of those tyres.
Oh, absolutely. There will be absolutely that part of the element. I'm really happy with the opening exchanges with those two. That there was some pretty good racing. Like, you know, there's been a little bit of aggravation between the two of them over the last couple of rounds, and they're in championship contention. All right, Cheney and Heyman looking at the last lap. Cheney went 58.6, Heyman 57.7, a second difference in that last lap. So you would expect with 3 to go that Heyman should get to Cheney But if one thing is definitely happening, Heyman having to charge through the field is hurting his tyre a lot more than some of those others around him.
Still an impressive driver for Graham Cheney, currently second in the championship, so he still needs to accumulate those points, because although it's a big weekend in terms of the AC Delco Tag Team Enduro, it's also counting towards his championship, so he has to be really smart about this weekend.
And for the championship,
he can bring those points in.
This race is more important than the Enduro final. This one carries full points for the single drivers. So the likes of Haynes, Cheney and Gardner mindful of that going into this race. So and they're near the pointy end.
In saying that, still third when it comes to the big weekend. He had a little bit of a move down the insides of Brett Nile in the car.
It is Brett Nile in the 54. They've had some dramas today already. Danny Reedy, who's been doing a solid job on debut this season in the Desert Palms #5 Camaro, former Speedway racer. It took him a couple of sessions to get his eye in and figure out where he was on the racetrack. There was a little bit of negotiation going on there as well. And some of the Speedway boys have really had their hands full with this place with 18 corners.
And Greg Keem in the back of the De Beer finishes number 13 as well. Now, they were chasing some pace early this weekend. They've found a damaged shock in that car, so they've changed that overnight. It looks like it's got a little bit more pace today, and Matty McKeldon, he seemed very unsettled in the car, but he's a little bit happier today, and I think he's calmed down a bit. So watch for them in the endurance, because as he said yesterday, the over 50 small amount of testosterone can really pay off when we see the aggression that we had at the start of yesterday's race.
It's one of the best interviews this year. All right, Cheney, here comes Heyman. Little half look, just a little sneaky, little fake down into one, trying to apply the pressure to the back of the RAS number 118.
Slightly different lines with there. He's going to be looking for the run. Can he get it on Tyler Cheney? Not super experienced in this type of vehicle, but he's been doing plenty of 86 work, and with Excels, you'd be used to defending, wouldn't you?
That is not a usual part of the racetrack to get the pass done. He's really narrow on the approach to 6, but gets it covered coming off. Heyman to third from grid 18.
When it comes to the overall weekend, though, Tyler Cheney and Jared Hughes are in it for the $20,000 Enduro race, right?
They will more than likely still be topping the points.
He's not a threat to them when it comes to that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So probably best not to push it too far without having any contact on the vehicle, because they're in the prime seat now. Tyler Cheney, will he be holding a big check with Jared Hughes at the end of this weekend? Well, we'll wait and find out, because there's still 25 laps of racing to come for that, for our final race this afternoon.
Tyler Cheney, just looking at Tom's on board behind him at one stage there. Tyler had some oversteer going, actually a little bit of turn and understeer right there, so maybe the car balance has just gone away. He's not actually letting Heyman get away here though, so it's actually probably hurt him up.
Well, so a good opportunity to sit behind him to see the lines he's using throughout. Maybe, you know, you might find where he's just finding that 10th of a second in some sectors of the track.
Well, I don't think Tyler would have done 30 laps around this place so far this weekend. It might be between 30 and 40, but that's it.
How many XLs do you think you can fit in a TA2 car? 2?
Yeah, lots. And that's what I was just about to refer to. So Motocross XLs and 86s is pretty much all that Tyler Cheney's been doing. So last lap run,
Brad
championship
Gardner.
Equation.
Oh, look, Brad Gardner.
Haynes, Gardner, and Cheney in 4th.
Yeah, I know. Well, Cheney in 5th, because it's Graham.
Graham, sorry. Yes. I just saw Cheney.
On board with Gardner, of course. Brad Gardner, tough weekend for him again this weekend. Great news, though, coming out of TA2 recently, that he's going to be joined by Robbie Farr as a teammate for our next round at Winton, who are joining the series under the Hi-Tec team as well. So, mate, he's got a lot of experience coming his way that I think will help progress his racing. Hard for a young man when you have so much expectation of the weekend. It's his home track, his family's all here. He basically had half of the crowd here was someone he knew, was related to, a friend. And look, unfortunate yesterday afternoon. So Brad Gardner in 2nd position and limping home the number 22 Hi-Tec Oils Camaro. Josh Haynes clearly out in front now. That's pushed out to 3.3 seconds. And on this final lap, you'd expect that he will bring home the Herzog Steel number 37, the man of steel. Can he keep his nerves for these final few corners? He brings the 37 home with a row of wins, really, which we see yesterday. That's still provisional. We'll wait to see how everything unfolds with that. We really don't have any news as of yet.
More to come.
But we got a big race coming your way this afternoon. Still plenty more to figure out where everyone's going to start on the grid once we see the points come out of this race. And he's got clear air. He's just got to hold it through the final corners.
I enjoyed the opening exchange between Haynes and Gardner. That was cool to see. As I said, there's definitely been some issues between them over the last couple of rounds, but Haynes will get the victory here, and this is the most important thing for him for the championship equation, continuing to hold on to that championship lead. And with Brad's DNF with a half-point steal in race number 3, he would have looked to have extended that. So Haynes with the win in race number 5 from Gardner and Heyman. He's got an absolute lock on that Hypercoil Hard Charger award because he's done it again, and he's gone 18th to 3rd.
Wow, that's so impressive. That Rod Crutcher here might just hold out Des Collier over the line too. He's doing really well, Mark Crutcher in 6th position. We've just seen with Jordan Cox joining his team last year as a co-driver, and then swings from spanners on the car in the background, the changes we've seen in how well he's been driving. Hayden Jackson looks like he's had a bit of a better run there in the number 81 too. He's had some bad luck. Oh no, Domain Ramsey's going to outbrake himself. The Speedway boys are there together. Imagine what's going to happen when we put Robbie Farr in the mix here and we've got 3 of them.
I was just about to say the 2 Speedway boys will be having some fun battling each other there, and then Domain's run it off the racetrack. So Danny Rudy crosses the line, and that will be 15th. 14th, sorry. Greg Keem, 13th, Greg Keem in 14th. So provisionally points going into the final race. The 118 Hughes, Tyler Cheney, combination 263. Graham Cheney, Zach Bates, car 51, 247. Mark Crutcher, Jordan Cox in the 4 on 245. And Des Collier and Elliot Barber in the 63 TFH Mustang on 244. Provisionally, that would look to be your first 2 rows for the final race in the big money.
Yeah, but we know that whoever started yesterday's race doesn't start today's race. It swaps. Let's have a look, though, at your results here for race number 5 of the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Car framed by Hi-Tec steel framing. Josh Haynes with the win over Brad Gardner, who got that car home. Tommy Heyman with a massive charge up to 3rd. Tyler Cheney, well, he impressed Dad, who had to hold out for 5th position. Mark Crutcher in 6th, and it was Des Collier 7th. Hayden Jackson in 8th. Michael Coulter, fantastic race from him to get back into 9th position. And John Hollinger, who repaired that car over 9th in 10th. Josh Thomas did a good job too, starting off the rear, so he had a lot of work to do. Brett Nile keeping his nose clean that time by the looks of it. Danny Reedy, well, late charge there after we saw that late braking from Domain Rams, which allowed him and Greg Keem to get through. And then, of course, we saw Steve Wilson, Paul Hadley in 17th, and Anthony Tenko to round out our 18 cars in this race number 5 of the TA2 Muscle Cars. We'll wait and see exactly what they've got to say here, because it'll be interesting how Brad's gone with that car. Let's head down to pit lane, though, and see how our winners went.
Josh Haynes lights the flag. That's how you want it. You did have to work for it a little bit, though.
Yeah, nearly lights the flag. I don't know, I thought as a lead car you'd probably have control over the pack, but I don't know, it was a weird start. So lost it down at the turn 1 there, but what dropped back to 3rd or 4th, I think. But yeah, we had a quick car, so it's good to get a lead, build a gap, and then yeah, just maintain the tyres from there.
Eyes on the prize now. It's the big go next.
Yeah, that's it. Another Enduro this afternoon, so it should be good. The Herzog Steel Mustang's quick, and yeah, the team's done an awesome job, so we'll be there.
Fantastic stuff. Over to you, Mel.
Brad Gardner, tough day yesterday. Good to see you back in P2.
Yeah, no, it's really good to be here. Obviously, Brooksy had a struggle this morning in his race, but we got the car tuned up and back probably somewhere where it should be. So got a really good start, and I can't thank the guys enough for getting me back here. But I was the victim of 2 pit lane penalties yesterday, so it's a tough gig, and we got a pretty bent-up race car, but we'll just keep pushing and see what happens.
Some good championship points in that race?
Yeah, obviously Josh is the one we need to catch, but you know, we'll just keep doing our thing and, yeah, finish it off.
Thank you. Back to you, Jared.
Tom Heyman, congratulations. 15 positions starting from rear of grid. You're going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah, that was a pretty busy race. Obviously only 10 laps and made up quite a few spots. The car wasn't great, but it'll definitely be better for the next race.
Especially with a fresh set of greens going to get banged on for that 25-lapper. Tell me, we have seen in that tyre swap in those longer races, the balance of the car really gets thrown out. Have you guys worked out a fix for that?
We've got a few ideas, but we'll just wait and see how it works out with where we put the tyres on the car. We've only got 2 greens for the next race, but it'll be a good race. Have a lot of pace in the car, so we'll see how we go.
Fantastic stuff. Thanks, Tom. Back to you in commentary.
This is going to come down to a 5-horse race over 25 laps for the $20,000. Remembering, though, the winner of this race also gets a bonus, $5,000 in AC Delco products. So it's not about the weekend for that. It's about this one 25 lap. It's 120 kilometres to get through in these cars. Fuel, we've spoken about it. It's not going to be on the limit, but it's going to be getting close to the limit. So they're going to be filled up. A lot of them are going to be having some tyres, a couple of green tyres on the car. Michael Coulter, well, what did Jared say? He's got freshies all round. So they've been saving those, especially with that incident yesterday in the Enduro where they were out in lap 1. Tom Heyman and Haynes will be on the front row there. With Haynes with that penalty yesterday, 5 seconds. Hazelwood and Thomas will be on the second row with Cheney and Hughes. Collier and Barber and Cheney and Bates alongside each other in the third row. There's back to Prosser with Crutch and Cox on the fourth row. Pride and Reedy on the fifth row of the grid. So 2 driver combinations and single driver combinations. This Lindstrom, unfortunately, in the 39 will not make it out for this race. It is done for the TDP Mobile Services Ford Mustang for this weekend. Kima McKeldin doing really well there in the 7th row too. They are starting to find that race car. They've been working on it. Like we said earlier, we've got that shock issue there they found yesterday, and they fixed that. Gardner and Brook back down on the 19th row of the grid in 18th position. That's
well, they were one of the cars
one.
that they were obviously DNF, so that's why they're starting so far back. Points-wise, they're not bad, but they might just be outside of that window for the overall victory based on what's about to happen here. So, the other driver is starting this second Enduro race of the weekend. So, if one driver started yesterday, the other driver starts this one. So you've got Tim Brook in the Brad Gartland number 22. Crutcher will start the 4.
So how aggressive were they? And we spoke about it in driver's brief today. They were bumping together down the straight yesterday. It was a no-go, according to our stewards today. They are to separate. And how is the start going to be? The 2 young guns, the quick time, Tommy Heyman. He took out the Kubota Pole Award this weekend. He is on the inside out of pole position. Josh Haynes, the man of steel on the 37. Herzog Mustang on the outside. But look at the TFH boys. They are lined up and ready for a big line. Oh, Tyler Cheney moves to the outside. Graham on the outside to hit his father. There were some big words down in pit lane, and he is not going to take it easy on him on this rain. Heyman, can he get down the inside? He crosses over. We've got one wheel off on the dirt. That looks like Prosser, but he holds on to it. We get on board here with Tim Brook, though, in the Hi-Tec Oils 22, and already a bit of a bump and shove in turn number 1. There's a heap of them off already, and that's Des Collier, the 63.
Jason Pride involved, and Michael Coulter as well. Michael was at the rear of the field, but yeah, after telling all of the drivers at drivers briefing this morning to just lighten up a little bit, again, it's gone wrong at 1. So we've got to figure out who's sort of compromised here on this early stages of the lap. But certainly Brook was in there. Looking at it, Prosser, who started 7th, he's a long way back. So he's had to take avoiding action on that as well, as we went on board there with Crutcher. Heyman out in front in the 30, chased by Haynes. And then it is Josh Thomas in the 3rd position.
Oh, no, Hadley.
Brook.
That's I think that's going to be Paul Hadley. No, Hugh McAllister in the car at the moment. And that's Brook. Oh, Hayden Jackson as well. He has had such a bad run in 2024. It's not just this.
I think that's at 6.
We'll have to really try and get some footage of what's happened there.
I was talking to Hayden this morning, and I said to him I was clapping here in commentary when he avoided yesterday's deal.
And they're not too far away from coming in contact, so let's hope there's no fluid on that corner either, because there's going to be a lot of fiberglass. Are we going to have any punches if they try and roll through that? This is going to play out to, lap number 1 again. A big problem here for the TA2 muscle cars. Unfortunately, everyone being super aggressive in the run for that $20,000 or the $5,000 AC Delco tools, and that Tim Brook, he's got back underway, so they'll be checking some of the gauges on their car, just making sure they've got oil pressure and the temperature's fine. Let's have a replay here of the start, though, and they were still 6 wide. Look at Graham on the right-hand side around Tyler Cheney. Dad's coming around saying, it's Father's Day. I'm taking that position. Tom Heyman covered a little bit there. I was looking at Prosser in the background, just got a smidgen of wheel off onto the dirt. Crutch sandwiched in the middle here. Des Collier, has he just clipped the inside there and brought himself unstuck?
Hard to see with that angle, but Tyler Cheney actually gave his dad the no argue on the run down into 1 and snicked up the inside, and then made side-by-side contact with Crutcher in the 4. There's where Prosser had to take avoiding action. He's got some damage to the back of the car.
I don't think there's too much contact there. I think everyone's avoided it who was behind him by the looks of it.
And this is
the other
at
incident.
6. This is at 6. So Domain Ramsey's locked up ahead of that. It's already happened there. So it's actually off the exit of 6. So I think someone's got turned around there potentially, because it's off the exit. It's not under brakes in.
Tim Brook in front, you think maybe he's been turned around. He's trying to start the car. We see the lick of flame there as it gets underway.
Oh, it's
a very
damage.
sad-looking Camaro on the front.
Big time damage safety car. We are on safety car. So
we're going to have a short break and be back soon. Don't go anywhere. Stay on the edge of your seats. Welcome back to the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series for round number 4. TFH Hire TA2 muscle cars framed by Hi-Tec steel framing. Experience really playing its part here in this endurance race. But we're underway with a restart here. Single file as they take off. Heyman will lead them out and set the pace. They're just waiting for that light to go. And here we go. You can hear the V8, the McLaren power plant fires up and they head down the main straight here at the Shell V-Power Motorsport Park. And we have only completed 3 laps as we head into this one. How messy is it going to get coming into turn 1? Heyman's got through. Haynes has got through. Tyler Cheney goes through. I tell you what, Heyman, Haynes, they never sound very familiar. Let's call it Quick Time and the Man of Steel. But the Quick Time's out in front. Have a look on board here, though. This is Josh Thomas, teamed up with Todd Hazelwood this weekend in 4th position. And they are looking at the pointy end. They're still in the running for the $20,000 at the moment, so just trying to hold on to that 4th position.
They went into this final race 5th in the points to Domain Ramsey with a big sideways moment to the inside of Matty McKeldin in the keen number 13. Back on board with Tim Brook. He's struggling with damage to that front splitter. He's back in the 15th position.
I don't reckon it's going to be damaged. I don't reckon he's going to be struggling with it for much longer, because if that keeps scraping away, that's just going to disintegrate very shortly. Here you go, the Man of Steel in 2nd position, though. The Herzog Mustang entry now. He's got championship to worry about. Heyman is not part of the championship.
Heyman's got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose, considering our pole sitter DNF'd in the first race.
Oh, no.
We got rotated Jason Pride in the background. That was Jason Pride going around the Western Australian in the 14. Aaron Prosser looks like he's got a problem. He's slowing in the 91. So that's actually the leaders going by him. So Aaron Prosser, after a 7th place finish, he's going backwards as Pride rejoins the track. You've just spotted something there, Matty. Who was that?
It looked like a TFH car, and I thought it might have been Thomas, because he's the only one in that era, but because it looks like he's gone back a couple of positions, possibly there behind Crutcher. He is now.
He has gone back.
Is that Des Collier working his way through? Has he moved up from 10th all the way up? I'm just waiting for our timing to update there, but it looks like a TFH car.
Well, Prosser's back on the journey, so he's back up to speed. So whether he was trying to recover and get back around and just moved over for the leaders, he sort of got back in that queue and back underway. So Prosser's a lap down and in amongst the leading group at the moment. Russell Wright's got some damage to the front of the 69.
Yeah, Rusty Wright working around Nick Lang.
Collier's going backwards. Collier's getting shuffled back through the field. Boy, there is so much going on here right through from 1 to 22.
Forget about where they're sitting on the $20,000 round prize pool. Let's just keep going on the race at the moment here. And you'll pull in Josh Thomas trying to go around the outside there by the looks of it. Of a lap, that'll be a lap car.
Yeah, that was Prosser. That was Prosser. But even so, like Thomas, a lot of wheel work to try and get that car stopped and turned.
Hollinger doing a nice job too in the 23, tucked in behind in 7th position. And Rusty Wright, the team of experience, back in 8th position.
But carrying some damage. So, yeah, Rusty's got a great run, but he's carrying damage. So there's been a fair amount of contact in these opening laps and exchanges in this 25-lap finale, as now finally things just start to settle down. Heyman's gone purple, fastest lap of the race at a 59.4525.
Not surprised there with quick time, but Bill has a brake block up there. He's grabbed that Crutcher in the number 4 machine, and look at Thomas. He is all over the back now. This one's going to become a little bit of a dogfight, and it's for position number 5.
5th and 6th. Thomas down the inside. Thomas down the inside.
Why he's flying
to get it stopped.
Oh,
He's got ground contact.
Let's hope no one else gets involved in this one. Crutcher's turned. Oh, Hollinger makes it through. Look at Rusty Wright. He might make a couple of positions out of this one.
Well, Thomas was committed. He got down there, and you could hear he was struggling to get it stopped, and he's made contact with Crutcher. Meanwhile, out in front, Heyman is still your race leader.
Brook back up into 10. Massive move there in the Hi-Tec Oils 22. He's starting to work his way back through the field.
Look at the front of it. It's not pretty.
It's not about being pretty. Hollinger gets back past Rusty Wright.
But it doesn't seem like it's really hurting him for outright lap speed, because he's going by some of those midfield guys. So trying to regroup and recover and get them into a better position.
Let's have a look at some of the Hi-Tec Oil replays here and see what happened. Josh Thomas had a big dive down the inside. It looks like he had to try and grab that under brakes. It's a bit of a lock up there.
It
Slides.
had a big chatter going.
Crutcher left him plenty of room. That's unfortunately, he's come down the inside. Looks
Hollinger
like he's
did a
lost
good job
control of the car.
Yeah,
he
locked up the rear.
He slid it into Crutcher, so that's unfortunate for Mark Crutcher there. The others have got around nicely. I'm just glad there wasn't more damage on that one, where we have seen them, when they're a lot closer together, make a lot of contact and cause a few cars to have to do a journey through pits for some minor repairs. Yeah, that bonnet's barely holding on, so that's very unfortunate for him.
I think he's just sneaked in that pit window.
He might have actually. Oh, no, because it's lap 8. They haven't completed lap 8.
No, Heyman just needs to start the 8th lap. So, pit window should be open. All right, so Colt is in. Collie is in to hand over to Elliot Barber. Jordan Cox getting in the 4. Danny Reedy's in. They're doing that tyre change front to rear.
So minimum 90-second stopping there as well. So minimum 90-second stop. And you can see there's some nervous drivers down there waiting for their moment where they'll have time to talk to us, because who's going to take advantage of the early pit window? Tyler Cheney, what do? He's running numbers out there. He's keeping up with Josh Haynes. He's only a couple of tenths a second off him. Are you worried about your 20,000? Because really the closest person to that is Graham Cheney behind him. That means we'll see Brett Nile get in the car. The single drivers, we haven't seen them come in yet, really, and take their 90-second stop. Coxie's back out there now. Jordan Cox in the number 4 Crutcher Developments car in 12th position, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to put the pedal to the metal as well. We've seen the aggression that he's shown throughout any form of racing he's been part of. There's Collier. Well, it's Barber, Elliot Barber now back behind the wheel of the 63, just going past Jason Pride.
So Pride hasn't pitted, so Pride's actually up in the 8th position. So Elliott's just unlapped himself there. So Pride's still yet to pit. Heyman and Haynes continue on as Jared Hughes was just coming off pit lane. So as they start cycling here, and they've got to get that pit stop done by lap 16. So Heyman continues on. Haynes going with him. There's the 2nd place Haynes. The gap is 2.5 seconds.
So keeping in mind, transport time, a perfect 90-second stop will take about 2 minutes and 1 second to go through. So we're going to start looking at these times as they go around to see how they're going with that undercut. So shortened race now. As you can see, the laps have been cut back, obviously with our delayed coverage.
How does that go with Heyman and Haynes?
17 laps. So
they haven't pitted. Heyman and Haynes
they're going to have to come in soon, because I don't know if the pit window has changed. Maybe with the late change in laps, they have not called that through. We haven't got any information on that, but they'll be getting called from their crews now.
Oh, Ramsey.
Big lock up on the back brake.
And he's in the Gravel, and he's well and truly
and you can come in under safety car. This might go down really well for Heyman and Haynes. I'm just trying to see where they are out on track at the moment, because Quick Time and the Man of Steel, where are they, and will they get in? Will there be a safety car with his beached as over there as well? The main Rand's in the 71. Just having a look.
This could be a game changer. This could be a game changer.
Brad Gartner's going to get a move done there. It's Prosser a bit further down.
I think that there was the McAllister car on pit lane.
But is it out of the way? Is it going to bring out the safety car? We are watching the screens at the moment. Jason Pride getting around in the 14.
He hasn't pitted either. It'll be Jared Hughes and Tyler Cheney.
That's exactly
currently
right.
in the 6th
Here we go.
position.
He's going to come in. Here we go. He reacts.
Heyman had to. Heyman had to, and Haynes, I'd be very surprised if he hasn't followed him in. Haynes went around again. I think Haynes has kept going.
He has. He's taken over the lead. Now have a look, 1.1 laps behind for Jared Hughes. So that's going to be it's going to be a around about the 2-minute 4 or 5 mark. So these guys are going to have to be counting that 90 seconds. They're going to have the stopwatch out and be absolutely perfect. But they've got to swap those wheels on the left-hand side of the vehicle. Dive now for Todd Hazelwood in the 169, and I think Rusty might have got out of that car, and 10K might have got back behind the wheel, possibly.
That's for 14th and 15th.
No, Rusty
so
Wright's still in there. It's not really going to show. It's more about Jared Hughes at the moment.
I think that was Haynes in the back of shot coming out of the final corner. It's more on pit lane. Haynes is on pit lane.
So it's more about, does he get out in front of Hughes at the moment? Heyman, there's Hughes. You can see him. Let's stay glued to this. And does he get out and get enough momentum to hold on to the lead? I think he will.
Heyman will maintain the lead.
One more lap and we'll find Graham Cheney's car with Zach Bates behind the wheel in the background too. So
and he's on a charge. He's going purple in the sector, Zach Bates. Haynes won't be too far away from leaving here.
The spotter in front. Now the spotter has to get back over the yellow line too before the car leaves. So be waiting to give him the radio signal. The Herzog man of steel. Oh, imagine the nerves inside that car right now. He knows Heyman will be charging down.
It was about a 2.5 second gap between Heyman and Haynes. It was about 2.5 to 3 seconds. Heyman had a lock-up.
But he's on the main straight. Is he? No,
not on the main straight. Here we go. Haynes. Here comes Haynes.
Now he's got a speed limit.
Heyman onto the main straight. Heyman onto the main straight. This is going to be close. I think Heyman's going to have the advantage.
Well, he's on a big run. He did have a lock-up just before, but Josh Haynes has to stick to the speed limit in there, and Heyman's going to make it happen. Will Josh Hughes get in though? The big undercut. Oh, it's hurt Haynes.
Well, it was about a 2.5 to 3 second disadvantage from Haynes to Heyman, but Hughes has jumped Haynes in that pit stop cycle and maintains that points lead for the $20,000.
Wow, listen to those tyres.
Hughes was quicker again on the last lap. Now, is it the last lap board now?
Final lap now for our TA2 muscle cars. $20,000 up for grabs, all thanks to TFH Hire and Hi-Tec Steel Framing.
Hughes down to 2.1 seconds. He's taken 4 tenths out of Heyman. There's the gap first to second. Haynes just out of background and shot. He is 3 seconds down on Jared Hughes. They have a very, very good race car. And look, my star of the weekend, Hughes has done an amazing job, but Tyler Cheney, unbelievable, 17 years of age.
If I'm Graham Cheney, I'm worried that I've got to hand my car over to my son at this point.
It's going to have to happen at some stage, isn't it?
Super impressive to come out here in a car that's a lot bigger than the 86 that he's just started competing in 2024.
And there's no doubt Heyman is going to pick up the Hypercoil Hard Charger Award as well, with a couple of brand new Hypercoil springs as part of the AC Dalco prize that's about to come to him on the last lap. But yeah, like Tyler Cheney's done just an unbelievable job. Nobody has passed more cars than Tom Heyman this weekend.
In the season?
Just about in the season, you'd have to argue about it, because man, has he passed some cars this weekend.
There were 22 cars in the field yesterday, 21 positions he made that hard charge through. Have a look though, Jared Hughes, well, he's in the points lead for the weekend. Tommy Heyman though, looking for the $5,000 AC Delco tool pack to take home after having an issue in his first race and losing a lot of, got a DNF there, which is why we saw him start at the back of the grid yesterday. This one's going to go right down to the wire with only a few corners left to run. Heyman leading the race. Jared Hughes leading the weekend on points with Tyler Cheney. Just hold your breath for this one. He's not going to catch him as long as Heyman can hold on to this.
I don't think
Will he bring it home?
Is he
going to slide it out of the final corner? No, he keeps it under control, and big round of applause for Tommy. Quick time Heyman there gets himself a race win in the endurance. Jared Hughes and Tyler Cheney, I tell you what, $20,000 looks like it's coming their way. All thanks to TFH Hire and Hi-Tec Steel Framing. But look at the hugs down there, and that is for Tommy Heyman after a gearbox change this weekend. A few other small issues there. They have worked super hard. Queensland Raceway was a tough one for him, and the family exhilarated down there, hugging in pit lane. So excited to take this final win as he gets the #1 spot. It was Jared Hughes and Tyler Cheney who came in second and takes out the round win and the $20,000, all thanks to TFH Hire and Hi-Tec and AC Delco combined. Then it's Haynes there. Josh Haynes will continue his championship fight in third position. Goes back to Zach Bates and Graham Cheney, who will still remain in second position in the championship for Graham. Then it's Hoy and Hollinger in fifth. Fantastic result for them. Cox and Crutcher in sixth. Barber Collier, Gardner Brook with a big fight back in the Hi-Tec Oils 22. Thomas and Hazelwood, they did do a little bit of a pit lane run there for a minute, so I don't exactly know what happened. Great to see Coulter after yesterday. It's back up into 11th as well. 10K and Wright in 16th with some major damage. They had to come in and get repaired, and he ended up losing the bonnet off that. Unfortunately, Hayden Jackson in 20th, well, he had to retire from the race with a big front end damage there in the 81. That is super unfortunate there. I tell you what, pretty exciting to see these young guns, Jared Hughes and Tyler Cheney, with the big smiles. That's probably the least amount of experiences we've got out there in the crew.
$20,000 richer for taking out the event. Congratulations, Tyler Cheney and Jared Hughes. Tyler, it was a crazy, crazy weekend. You stuck it to the old man a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely did. He deserved it. Nah, it was definitely, good fun. He's very polite, you could say. But, no, it was good fun.
Jared bringing it home there in that slightly shortened Enduro. Man, it was a wild, wild race from start to finish.
It was a bit wild. I couldn't believe we were watching the timesheets when he went out, and we're like, we got the wrong bloke in the car. He's absolutely flying. But no, it's been an absolutely unreal weekend. Can't thank the PhD team and the rest of my guys enough for doing all this, and Tyler for doing an absolutely awesome job for his first weekend in a TA2 car. So, no, we're stoked, absolutely stoked.
Brilliant stuff. Congratulations. I know that you're going to have a party tonight. Enjoy. Mel, here with second place.
Zach Bates bringing it home in P2, a shorter stint than you were expecting.
Yeah, I think it was shorter than we were all expecting, but nonetheless, it was a fun weekend. Congratulations to the 118 car. They did a good job all weekend. So we put some different boots on it then, and it was a whole lot better. So I can't thank Gray and Paul and everyone from the team for giving me this opportunity to come and drive. I feel very very stoked to be able to come do these kind of things. So it was a fun weekend.
Fantastic effort, thank you. And Graham Cheney, P2, fantastic effort by yourself, but a proud dad moment as well.
Oh, 100%, yeah, I'd like to have a young bloke. If you're going to get beaten by anyone, it's good to have a young bloke do it. At the age of 16, it's unreal.
Is it going to be awkward now at the dinner table?
Nah, I don't think so, yeah. We are pretty competitive, but it's really good.
Yeah, fantastic effort, well done. Back to you, Jared.
Third place for the round, Mark Crutcher and Jordan Cox. Congratulations, guys. It was a crazy, crazy 2 days, and the car has definitely got some extra miles on the odometer now.
Yeah, it was a big couple of days. The car held up, the team. Can't thank Paul Hadley enough before we do any more. He's the one that brought this team together. First, second and third for the team. Just enormous. And thanks to Coxie, obviously, got one of the best drivers in the country with me.
Mate, he's all praise, but were there ever any tense moments there on the driver changes?
No, it's all good. We trust each other, so we know how to do it. So, yeah, what a great weekend. Like, super happy for the IES team. So, it's 1, 2, 3. They've put a lot to get the team together. You run a 4-car team, it's a decent operation. It's disappointing to see the boss, Paul Hadley, have an incident in that one, and we get to share the spoils. So, it is what it is. But, hey, thanks to Crutch again for letting me drive his yellow rocket. So, it's always fun driving TA2. So, it's been a great weekend.
Fantastic stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, lads.
Tom Heyman, congratulations, finally you're a P1.
Yeah, obviously it was a pretty cool race, controlled it from the start to the finish, so it's what we wanted all weekend. Again, the boys did an amazing stop. Just want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
We were just saying before, we think you've probably passed more cars this weekend than most people do in a season.
Yeah, there was quite a few. I think it ended up being in the 30s. So, no, it was a good weekend. Obviously the car had a lot of pace and stoked to end up P1 in there.
Brilliant job.
Cheers, thank you.
We'll be back at Winter Motor Raceway on October 4th to 6th in just a few weeks' time. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series.